IGN's Comic-Con coverage brought to you by Death Race. In theaters August 22nd.
Fringe is a show that if you've not seen it, you can pick up episodes in. If you miss an episode, you can go back and watch it. You don't it's not going to be a show that will be as I think Alias and Lost were, like literal cliffhangers every week, which was the experiment that Alias was at the very beginning. Literally end every episode with a cliffhanger. This show is much more self-contained, but there are absolutely ongoing stories and sort of there's a long-term story that we're telling that is really cool and must be earned like over time. It's one of those stories that you can't start the show with. People will be like, what the hell? It's like a big story that I think, and so we're going to be like doing very subtle things throughout all the episodes, but it's rarely going to be the kind of thing that requires the same kind of dedication that Lost does week in week out.
I think what's really interesting about your character is that she's got a streak of vulnerability even though she's quite competent and she's really the strong lead character. So how do you see that developing over time? Like how will she balance out that vulnerability with being kick-ass?
Well, I don't know. I think that I'm not sure. I do feel that she kind of walks around with the weight of the world on her shoulders a little bit, and I think she's one of those people that doesn't leave it for other people to do. And with that comes like a sense of sadness in why can't I let it go? And I think it'll just keep developing. I don't really know how to answer that, nor do I really know if I want to right now at the beginning of the series.
Can I say something? And I've never said this to her, but Anna's actually a great actor, and most great actors have the ability to be strong and vulnerable. In fact, it's almost a definition of it, and that's what she brings to it, and it's fantastic to watch it.
Josh, have you given your fellow actors any series advice, being the veteran of the group?
Heaps and heaps and heaps.
See, I was going to say no, they know everything by themselves, but maybe I talk too much.
What kind of advice do you hand over?
I don't really think I've given much advice.
Josh just says there's nothing you can't do anything to prepare.
Yeah. The realities, the physical realities of shooting television are quite difficult, and there's nothing that you can do to tell somebody what it's going to be like working 80-hour weeks. They're just going to have to find out. So we're all finding out.
Yeah.
So JJ you talked about freaking viewers out a little bit. How dark is the show? And do you mean it that way, or do you mean it some other way?
There's some stuff that happens in it that I think is incredibly, and in the stories that we're working on now, that is really, that's really out there and definitely scary and creepy, and yet the kind of stuff that, because the characters, I think, are relatable and fun.